All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Sip and Savor hour of the Simeon Henderson Show, where we are giving a voice to the people. I am your host, Simeon, and I am looking forward to a great show today. I am ready to get it in. I have the one and the only Miss Keisha Kent on. She is a very dynamic speaker, and let me just give you guys a quick shout out and show you who she is after we get started. But without further ado, we're going to get right into the Simeon Henderson Show. Let's get it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sip and Savor hour of the Simeon Henderson Show. And I am live with my girl, Miss KeshSpeaks. She's out in St. Louis.
St. Louis in the house.
St. Louis is in the house. I'm going to show something real quick so they can see who you are. And then we'll get right into this. Okay, Keish?
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Hold on a second. So I want to make sure that people are on. I want to make sure you guys are tuned in. I want to make sure that you guys are ready because she is a very dynamic person. She's a dynamic speaker, and you guys are going to get a lot out of this today. So I want you guys to be tuned in and be ready to go because, hey, I've been excited. I've been waiting for this. I really want to do this. Before I get into it, you know what? Before I get into it, let me go ahead and
what you got? What you got?
Let me go ahead and show these people a little bit about who you are and what you do. So everybody, check this girl out real quick for a quick minute.
Come on. Listen what you're bringing, right? Because I don't care what they say, how they say it. When I'm confident in what I'm bringing, it doesn't even matter how they act. It is the 5th annual Vision Board Extravaganza. And so what we'll do is we will talk about the intention of building a vision board and all the pieces that go into it, because we know that just building a vision board and looking at that, nothing's going to happen. So we walk individuals through what it takes to build that, what it looks like to set the intention, to set your goals, and now to really truly put the work in. And then we help form accountability teams. All right, Miss Jen, come on out here, Miss Jen. Give her a round of applause as she comes on out. All right, you guys, I need energy. More, there we go. Hook them up, hook them up. All right.
Did you like that?
Send me, I love that. When I saw it yesterday, I was like, oh, send me that. I'm trying to position my screen so that, let me see. Oh, there we go, right there.
You got it?
No, hold on.
Go on, girl. Get it together.
Let me get it together.
Get it together. Get it together.
I got this little stand, baby. I'm trying to be high tech with it. And the stand want to fall down.
It's all good. It's all good.
Woo! Okay, there we go. Look.
Okay, so we're going to get into it. Everybody, you're watching the Sip and Savor hour. What are you sipping on? You got to have something. You got to be sipping on water.
And you know what I'm sipping on? It says, good morning, this is God. Can y'all see it? Good morning, this is God. And what I'm sipping on is, I love chai latte. And listen here, I was like, you know what? With Starbucks being closed, what I'm going to do?
Make your own.
And it's just as good. You know what I did is I went to Target and they got everything right there that you need. I'm like, let me just buy the stuff that I need. And I feel even better not spending that $7. My whole bottle that I bought was $5.99, and I already had like 4 or 5 different cups. So look, come on, I learned how to do it. I like that shirt. It's fly.
Thank you. You know, today. So let me say this, everybody. I know, and this is an hour for us to talk, and guys, I'm gonna put it to you like this. I'm gonna put it up. If anybody wants to come in and ask Miss Keish any questions or anything like that, I'm going to put the link up so you guys can
look at you with all the technology.
You guys can go in and you can actually you can come in and be a part of the show.
I love it.
You can ask any questions because you know it's a lot going on right now, I think that people need an outlet because I want to have some real conversations, you know, in the near future, starting this week and starting with you about, you know, how people are dealing with this whole virus and the pandemic is what they call it. And I think that a lot of people have been out of sorts, if you will.
Oh yeah.
And then if you guys want to come on the show and you want to speak to Keish, there's the link right there. And you guys can come on. We're going to get right into it. So, you know, I've been looking forward to this because it's funny. I never knew, and you know, I've been speaking forever, and I've known you since you were a youngin'. And you were always, well, no, you weren't quiet. Xandra was the quiet one. But you were never the quiet one. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that you've taken this on as a career, like speaking and helping people and being a voice for people. Where did your love for speaking come from?
You know what, to be honest, it's always been here. But the place that it came from, cultivated, was my Aunt Phyllis. And I always watched her, and I watched how she was so articulate, how she would handle any situation, whether it was high alert situation, whether it was just a family function, go through that process of moving and grooving. And I was like, wow, it always inspired me to want to do more and to want to be able to lead as a leader. And so one of the things I always did is I looked at how I could do that. But she truly inspired me at a young age and went to school. And when I went to school and did all those different things, I was able to get connected in ways that it really allowed me to just grow. It really did. And so a lot of the inspiration that I had came directly from my family, from my grandma. She would get up. So she was at church, and I'm telling you, it would be hundreds of people, Simeon, and she would get up and she would lead those people. She would get up there and sing from her heart. She would get up there and lead, and it didn't matter. She could be in Chicago. That lady would just come in and she would own the place. And I was like, wow, I love how she just owned the place. And so I said, let me figure this out, because there was always something in me. But I had teachers as a little girl that would say, you talk too much. Quit that talking. All those things that would kind of dim that light. But I think understanding all those things, I've been able to take it and use it to bless other people, but to also build a legacy for my family. Because I think at the end of the day, if I'm building for all these organizations that hire me to come do this stuff, what am I building for my own family?
Right.
It has to be legacy. I can't hear you, Simeon Henderson.
Yes, and that right there is so very important when you talk about legacy. You can't hear me? Hold on. Let's see what's happening. Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Nope.
You can't hear me? I can
read your lips.
I can
hear me.
I can hear
turn my audio off and turn it back on.
Oh, I can hear you perfectly. How about
now?
Can you hear me now?
Nope.
Can you hear me? I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. I don't know. Maybe it's something on my end. Let me figure it out.
So everybody, you're watching. You're watching the show, right? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
No, I still can't.
Take your headphones out. Can you hear me now?
Say something.
Can you hear me now? You can't hear me? It has to be because they can hear us. The people
I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Go out and come back in.
Go out and come back in.
Yeah. So everybody, you're watching the Sip and Savor Hour of the Simeon Henderson Show, and I'm on with MrsKeshSpeaks, and I just want you guys to know that she is so dynamic, and I am so excited to have her on here. I'll do a quick commercial and come right back as we bring in MrsKeshSpeaks. And we know during this time, you guys have to find you some good places to eat and things like that. So I have some Ben's Barbecue. Check out Ben's Barbecue.
Hey, I'm Mr. Chicago, and I love Ben's Barbecue, and they're here to serve you during this time.
Hi, I'm Tyrone, known as Ben.
And I'm Linda here at Ben's Barbecue, located in the Austin community, 5931 West North Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. And we're open 6 days a week, closed on Mondays. And during this period, we are here for you. And we offer several sizes in our safe and secure containers.
Here at Ben's, we have a variety of combos. My favorite combo is the Hungry Man. That is 2 wings, fish and tips, or wings and tips, or the option of chicken tips, turkey tips, or pork tips. The wood-burning aquarium is a dying art. Here at Ben's, we're keeping it alive. You can order your food through DoorDash, Uber Eats, or takeout. We're here to serve you. At Ben's, we appreciate your business. Uber Eats has set up a customer appreciation which help pays the salary of our workers during this tough time. So if you're looking for delicious food and you want to be a help during this time, come visit us at Ben's Barbecue. And remember, if it's barbecue, then it's Ben's.
All right, everybody, we are back with the Simeon Henderson Show, where we are giving a voice to the people. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, everybody. So we are on with MrsKeshSpeaks, and I want to get right into it because so you started off as a consultant, right? So what was it like being a consultant? What was that like?
Now, I first started off as an employee. And when I was an employee, I found that people would want to hire me to come and do different things. So as I would work with organizations and say, maybe I would leave that organization and go to another organization, because I'm always thinking upward mobility. So what is it that I can do to gain skills that I didn't have? Mm-hmm. And as I left one organization that I had worked for here in the St. Louis area, I stayed connected with those teams. I stayed connected with those leaders. And then when they had opportunities that they needed to fill, because my background is human resources and recruitment, they hired me to come in and fill some IT staff.
Right.
And because I had the relationship with them already, it was easy. So I showed up with my contract, no problem. They signed my contract and they paid every time I would fill their position. Wow. But I was also working for another organization at that same time. And so I'm always thinking about multiple streams of income.
Yeah, yes.
So that in the midst of all of this stuff that's going on, money is still flowing in. I'm still able to share my gifts. I'm still able to connect with organizations. And so it's been really good. But the consulting piece itself gives me an opportunity to leverage my skills and to keep them sharp by sharing them with other organizations too.
Exactly. So let me ask this. What's one of your key messages?
My number one message right now, and it's been probably over the last few years, is networking. It's your superpower.
Oh, wow. I like that.
And the bottom line when it comes to networking is it's all relational.
Right.
People will connect with you wherever you go. It doesn't matter what you can sell. Estee Lauder, Mary Kay, you can sell Louis Vuitton. When you leave and go to each one of those companies, those people will follow you because you have their relationship.
Right.
But in everything that we do, networking is at the forefront. So if we're not networking, you ain't working.
Yeah. That's why they call it networking. Working. Okay.
All the time.
Cool.
All the time.
You know what's so cool? And shame on me, because we talked a few years ago and you told me that you were speaking and doing stuff now. And I had mentioned it but never followed up on it. I'm like, well, man, we need to do something together.
We get busy and it's okay.
Yes.
But you know what, Simeon, going all the way back when? Your mother.
Oh, yes.
Your mother. I remember sitting down at her table and I was young. I probably had to be 14. I'm 42 today. So I remember sitting at her table and just watching how beautiful her spirit was, Simeon. She always poured into you and Dan.
Yeah.
And I will never forget just the love that she had and that connection that we had. It wasn't by chance that we were all connected way back when, before the Simeon Henderson show.
Man.
Before Simeon was on any TV show. Every time you get on the show, we're like, that's Simeon, that's Simeon. So hey, Dan, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope he's doing well.
Dan is doing well. Jacob is doing well.
Jacob, yes.
Sarah's doing well.
Yes.
She. I think you. Wait. Let me see. You and Shara are the same age. Yes.
Me and Dan are the same age. How old is Dan?
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna wait. No, you and Dan. You and Dan are the same age. You're right.
We went to school together.
You're right. You and Dan are exactly the same age. You're
okay.
Right.
I remember Shara's a little bit younger than me. She's probably closer to Zandra's age.
Yeah, Shara's closer to Zandra. And then, wait, how old is Dooley?
He's older than Zandra.
Right, okay. So, yeah, I ended up in between somewhere in there. So, yeah. So now when we talk about a lot of things that you do, you deal with diversity.
Absolutely.
Okay? So what is that like? How do you define diversity?
That's a wonderful question, because people often think diversity and they think black and white.
Yes.
It's so much bigger than that. Are you in your network? Do you have people that are hearing impaired? Do you have people that are vision impaired?
Yeah.
Are you relating to people that are new citizens to this country and they don't have anybody here? Who do you have in your network? And so when I think diversity, I think any able-bodied person should be at the table. And when you think diversity, I always think of it in this form. Set up your table, but at your table, have every dish that anybody could want to eat, whether they don't eat meat, whether they don't eat whatever, they don't drink milk, they don't drink soy. Whatever you have at your table should be able to cater to every person who walks on this earth. And if you're not, oftentimes we want to promote to people that look like us, but you're missing a completely different market if you don't promote to everybody, baby. You need to make sure that you are connecting to every person that has two legs and two arms.
That's one thing that I learned when we lived out in Streamwood and out in the suburbs, and dealing with people of all nationalities and all races. I think I grew up on the west side of Chicago, so it was
west side.
And the only thing I knew white was my teachers. And so when I got in this world out in Streamwood, it was a shocking world. But I ended up being homecoming king, most popular. But
homecoming king! I forgot that.
but so what I'm saying is this: it was diverse for me and everybody, because it didn't matter if you were black, Hispanic, Asian, Chinese, whatever you were. There was so many different things. I was a diverse learner. I had an IEP. A lot of people didn't know this about me. They just knew I was a nice guy. I was a good athlete.
Yeah.
But I had to go to a special reading class and a math class.
Okay.
But my goal was to work hard enough to come out of that, which I did. Now I have a master's degree. I have a life coaching certification.
Master's degree club.
You know what I'm saying? But that's, and congratulations. We're going to talk about that. But my point is this: when you talk about diversity, so many people pigeonhole diversity. When you can't pigeonhole diversity, because there's a plethora of things that go with diversity. So when we talk about that, what is it like for you to be unfiltered sometimes? And when I say unfiltered, I mean being able to talk about any and everything that the time or the place allows. What is that?
Yeah. One of the biggest courses that I've been teaching organizations have brought me in is unconscious bias. And it's deep. And you think about some of those things and those hard conversations. Oftentimes our minds are set up a certain way because of what society has put in our minds. And we think we see a certain somebody, they look a certain color, and instantly you may clench your purse because of something that is in your mindset, when this could be the best young man that you've ever seen in your life. But because we're so preconditioned with all of these things, all of these unconscious bias has to come out. And I think about being unfiltered in a way where if you don't speak up and you put that thing out there, you could be missing an opportunity to grow yourself, but to grow people around you. And people need sometimes that person that's going to come unfiltered, unashamed, and not caring about what anybody says. And I think that's one of the things that I get to bring is I'm going to show up everywhere as my authentic self. You're either going to love it or you're going to love it.
I love it. I love it.
But I feel exactly what you said, Simeon, because growing up in St. Louis, on my block, on my grandma's block, where we would all go, everybody looked the same.
Yeah.
So being uprooted in the 7th grade, going to Elgin, Illinois was our first stop before we got to Streamwood. And seeing all of these kids, I was like, wow. I didn't know what to expect because there were no other kids at our school that didn't look like us. Like you said, only the teachers. But I believe that getting in that realm allowed me to be more diverse. It allowed me to connect with other people. And I'm telling you, I will spark up conversations in the store sometimes, Simeon, with somebody that's 76 years old, and we're talking about natural hair. And it's so amazing, the diverse intuition that's set up in the inside of me because of all of those experiences, that living in Hoffman Estates, living in Streamwood, living in Elgin, all of those pieces that come with being diverse. We have gotten that stuff front seat. And some of our greatest friends and cheerleaders, they don't necessarily look like us, but they buying books, they supporting, they're coaching, they're pushing. And that is such a blessing, Simeon.
Yeah. And I think that's so important. And this is why, and I'm saying this, like anybody that's watching now or that's going to watch it on the replay, I need people to understand and know how important building relationships and teams are. You can build relationships and you can work with a team. It doesn't have to be forever, but you can come together in order to get a project done, or they can help you get to the next level. It's like building a bridge. You can't have a bridge without all the pertinent parts, right? And
say that again. Say that again.
You can be a piece that I need in my bridge. I can be a piece you need in your bridge. But people have to understand that it takes that in order to build, in order to win, to get to the next level. Everybody, I remember always hearing people say, "I don't need nobody. I can do it myself." And then
that's a poverty mentality. That's a poverty mentality.
Yes. So let me ask you this: what is it like for you? What was it like for you leaving St. Louis and gaining all of this exposure to different people and different cultures and all of that, but then going back to St. Louis? What were you able to do when you went back? What was it like for you mentally?
Mentally, there was some real work that I know that needed to be done. It took me, I would say, at least 3 years to get it done, though. When I first got back here to St. Louis, I lost my granny. My granny passed, and my grandma was a big piece of me. And that was a hard blow for me. And when all of that happened, I needed to reposition because I didn't have a network here in St. Louis at all. Yeah. Because I hadn't lived here. I had moved away at such a young age. I didn't have a network as an adult. And what I started doing when I first got here is I said, I need a network. Instantly, the first position that I took with a large organization where I was doing recruitment. And this gave me so much exposure to colleges and universities and networking events. And they were paying for me to go out and do all of this stuff. And I took that and I was able to leverage. And every one of those connections that I made, I started keeping them in my toolbox so that I could start building for me. Because again, I didn't have a network at all. And instantly, when you meet somebody in St. Louis, the first thing they say is, what high school did you go to? But because I didn't, you know what I would do? I would lean on to my mom. I would lean on to my dad. I would lean on to my husband because all of them went to Sumner High School, which is the rock star high school.
Yeah. But like, look, you just say, hey, my whole family went to Sumner. Everybody.
Yeah, my whole family. My uncle taught at Sumner High School. Coach Cook, you know all the cooks.
Oh yeah.
And so that was what I used to help me build.
Jimbo Daddy,
Uncle Jimmy in the house. Yes, and really even connecting to their networks and the things that they were already good. Ronnie and his network that he had already built. So when he came back to St. Louis before me. Yeah. And so he's such a connector. He would be like, Here
Oh,
go my
big time.
cousin. You need to connect with my cousin. Here go my cousin. Here go my little cousin. Hold on, I'm 42.
Big time, big time. And that, but it's one of the things. And Ronnie is so funny because Ronnie is like he's like a granddad. He is a granddad,
He is a granddaddy.
but he's always act like an old man.
Always had that old soul.
I don't know if he got that from Bob. Who he got that from? He always act like an old man, but he's always
wisdom.
He's always trying to connect the dots and bring people together and make things work for people.
Right.
And that's what I think is so important about what you do. Even watching the clip, and I love it because I'm the same way. If I'm in a space and I'm working with people and I'm talking to people, I need your energy, not just for me, but for you. It makes it much better because I don't want to be bored, and I know you don't want to be bored. So let's have fun. Are we in this space? What has been one of your highlights when it comes to speaking? What has been one of the best highlights that you've had, or places that you've enjoyed the most? I know you enjoy them all, but there's been some that stood out.
Just recently, I worked with some youth here at my daughter's school, and they were working on diversity, inclusion, and they were looking at the city of St. Louis and looking at what we call, there's a street that's called Delmar, and Delmar is in the middle, smack dab in the middle. But if you go north of Delmar, it looks poverty stricken, it looks run down. But you go south of Delmar, I'm telling you, it looks like the Hamptons somewhere. And so those students were walking through this project called the Delmar Divide, and to hear their courage. So yes, I was their keynote speaker, but Simeon, I walked away from them and I was like, wow, had I learned those things, because they were in 5th grade, but had I learned that diversity, inclusion, awareness in 5th grade, baby, woo. And so that was one of the most rewarding that I've recently had. But then I also, Verizon Wireless had a big event for their leaders, new leaders, and they brought me out, and they do Women of Wireless. Oh my God, they did it here at the Ritz-Carlton here in St. Louis. And let me tell you, did they do it big for their team? They flew them in from all over. You can see them coming in, and I was like, wow. And for me to get up there and inspire and encourage them to keep connecting, to keep building, to find mentors, to connect to leadership resources, that organization, this year and last year, they had a big layoff. So for them to have me to come in and do all of those motivating things, I say that I was able to give them some tools for their tool belt that I know today that they're walking in those things. I'm connected to a lot of those women that went through, and they always are showing me, I made a vision board. I'm committing it. I'm doing this. I'm showing up. I'm taking Toastmasters. That's the one thing I always tell them.
Right.
Take Toastmasters. Get your articulation down. This is not something that we just wake up with.
Come on now. people, it's people. It's so funny. People, when I interview people, they don't even see me as an actor or anything anymore. They're like, man, you're good at this. Like, and I'm like, I can do this in my sleep. You know why? It's my passion. It's my love. It's my heart. And it's what I really, really want to do, because and it's like, that's like I was saying, connecting with you. See, I want to connect with you because you're talking about from a male perspective and a female perspective, but the same perspective.
Come on, still going
being able to go in as a team and hit them with that 1-2 punch, and they leave now. They got so much knowledge and insight. They don't know which they go. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use that, and it's one of those things that I think people have to catch. And speaking of, the next point I wanted to hit you with was this. Here we go. Hold on.
Come on. Tell about 2 seconds.
2 seconds. I'm coming back. Bam.
Ooh, come on, vision board.
The vision board, baby. So now here we go. I know. So, and it's so cool to see that you do this, because I've been waiting to do one. And I'm thinking about, we should do a vision board seminar online.
Virtually.
We can do it virtually and people can come in. So, but my thing
I
is,
love it.
For you, how important is it to have a vision board, and why?
Come on. The biggest thing to me is when you set your intention and you place your things on your vision board. But even let me go back before that. Before you start cutting out and all those things, I always say do your work first and think about what it is that you want. Make you some SMART goals. Make them specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then you set you a time frame on how you want to get those. Then go to your vision board. Put it somewhere where you can see it, but then start doing the work. And I'm telling you, Simeon, it works. I think it was 2000, don't quote me, Kaya was in 8th grade. And we have gone to an 8th grade career fair. This is when Kaya is sophomore in college now. That's how long ago it was. And so we had did a vision board. And I said at that point, I wanted Kaya to have a full ride scholarship to school. She's doing civil engineering.
Wow.
And when I put that on my vision board, I got her buy-in. She put it on her vision board. We cut out Missouri S&T Rolla, one of the top engineering schools. Do you know she has a full ride scholarship to Missouri S&T?
Wow.
And the biggest thing that I said was, I'm not going to, and I used to do this and I had to stop myself. How is it going to happen? How? Me? Who do I have that's connected? How am I going to get to it? But I said this, I'm going to take off this mask of how, what's this? And I said, I'm getting rid of it because it ain't up to us to figure out how it's going to happen. It's up to us to determine that this is what we want and stick to it and don't talk ourselves out of it.
Exactly. And
every single time.
Yeah. So what was it like for you getting her at that place?
Look, we had to get mentors in place. We had to get a mind shift because first of all, we were looking at schools and oftentimes we didn't see students that looked like her at these top engineering schools. And we had to start manifesting and saying, it don't matter who's there that don't look like you. You going. You're going. Might not be a lot of girls doing it yet, but there's going to be a lot of girls when you get there. It had to be a complete mind shift because we didn't see anybody right in front of us that were doing those things, but we were able to connect at that 8th grade career day with Nicole Adewale here in St. Louis. She is a Black-owned woman that looks like us, and she is a civil engineer, and she has done nothing but pour into Kaya through the National Society of Black Engineers, and her daughter is also going into engineering and went to school with Kaya. It's not even by chance that we even moved into that neighborhood. God orchestrates everything. We just have to take away the question of why. We don't need to know how and why. We just need to believe it and set our intention and keep going and make a decision that that's what we want.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind. When I put you on the screen by yourself, it's because I don't want them looking at my face. All of you. It's just so, and it's like even with this, right? So I noticed like you're doing your podcast now, and this is really my show is really my podcast because all I have to do is take it and put it up. And but my point is this: I saw the need, right? I was doing my show, and big shout out to my executive producer Jamani Anamdi and my producer Jose Perez. He's the one that does all of the flyers and things like that. He helps give me ideas, and the fact that I have to be here and do it. At first, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm like, man, I got to do it by myself. I said, I guess the show is going to be on hiatus. And then I saw, I'm like, no, we can't do that because there's a need for this.
Yes, it is.
And it's like when I did a 30-day refocus challenge, you know, and you were following that too. Like I was. All of that. I got to send you your certificate. I'm going to make all that stuff available for people. But doing your podcast, when you decided to do your podcast, what was your driving force? What made you want to just, you know what, do it? But not only are you doing it, you're sharing with people how to do it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It was this. Boop, boop. It was COVID-19 punched me right in the face like bam. And a few speaking engagements that I had lined up, I kept getting response. We're going to postpone this. We're going to cancel this. And since I'm such an extrovert, Simeon, I know that connecting with people is big for me. I launched the podcast January 2019 and didn't do anything with it. But here comes this COVID-19 pandemic, this shutdown, and instantly it was so clear in my spirit. Relaunched the podcast. And when I relaunched that, There was like this saving grace that still allows me to connect with people, that still allows me to speak and give my audience what they need, still allows me to share networking tips and leadership tips and connecting with people still in my network, because those people didn't go anywhere. We need to figure out how we connect today virtually. And that's exactly what I did. And it's been fun learning it. It's been fun going through the editing piece. I cannot wait until it continues to go in different places. And I'm every day I'm getting different people on, and people are sponsoring. This is month 2. And
so
I
you
have
gotta teach me that.
Sponsors.
So you have to teach me that. Because like even now with my show, I need to get sponsors. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Why I say we need people. Because we have my expertise is this. Doing connecting to the people. But now it's that other piece that I'm missing. How do I get sponsors? How do I get people to believe in the vision and help push the vision? And
let me tell you this. People already believe in it.
Right.
People are already connected to it. People are already wanting to sponsor. You know what they're waiting on? The ask.
There it is.
That's it. They're waiting on the ask. And I had to think about it when I went through the podcasting class, because I took a class just really understanding the marketing and the sponsor piece. And you know what she said that made so much sense? People that are in your network, how many did you ask to sponsor?
Wow.
And I was like,
none.
But when I started doing that, you know, people were saying, yes, I do want to sponsor. I love what you do. I love who you are. I want to sponsor on the strength of you.
And you know what's, and now let me tell you what's funny about you saying that. Today is Monday. I said this Saturday. I said, I'm going to do a video. I said, people watch me all the time. I said, I'm going to start, because I've never put it out there. I've never asked anybody for anything. I just don't. But I said, I'm going to put it out there, you know, and it could be a regular person. I don't care if you sponsor, $20 a month. I don't care what it is. And just think if I had 100 people that sponsored $20. And it's so those are the things. And I know people do it. I'm like, why am I so scared to ask people? I said, because I want to be able to continue to do this and grow and give people what they need. So I need to put the ask out there. Like,
that's right.
So, and I think that's so we are definitely gonna connect. And we family though. That's the cool thing.
We family. And so, the funny thing is this. Sometimes people may not be able to monetarily do things. And I always say, I'm not always looking for money. But if you share it, if you go on and subscribe to my podcast, if you go on there and you make a comment, you leave a message. I'm even doing this where you can go on and leave a message, and I'll share your voice where you get an opportunity to get over. People are listening in Ireland, UK. I'm like, come on, UK.
Hey, that's what I love. I'm like, I noticed that I have people. I got in Australia, in St. Martin's. I had some people in Africa. So this is what, and I tell people all the time. So many times people get caught up on numbers and things like that. And I think that as long as you are sincere about what you're doing and you're consistent and committed, it's gonna come.
Absolutely. Every single time.
I'm gonna send you a shirt.
All right now.
My son is in Simeon. Can you do me a favor? Can you hand me that shirt right there to the right of you on the floor? And I have this shirt, and if you know me, you know that I always say, stay faithful and focused and consistent and committed. I've said that forever. And be symbolic, simply your best. So I'm like, why don't I just put that on the shirt? So I did.
You better.
So I know you're small, so this is your shirt. So I'm gonna send this out to you.
All right.
Because I just want people to understand that what we're doing is for the good of people. Yeah. It's about giving back. It's about inspiring, educating, and motivating.
That's right.
How important is it for you? How important is it for you to just really, really show people how to walk in their purpose and achieve their goals?
It's everything for me. I eat it, sleep it, and breathe it. And sometimes I might even have a thought, and I might get up in the middle of the night and make a Facebook post and have an idea of a show for my podcast, an episode. And I have to write it down because I eat it, sleep it, and breathe it. And because it's so engrafted in who I am, It don't change. It doesn't matter who it is or where I am. I always want people to know, especially little brown girls, to know that anything that you want, honey, is at your fingertips once you
Yeah.
make a decision to say, this is what I'm going to go for, and connect and speak it out and believe it and get in the right circles.
Right.
Mentors have helped me every day, still to this day. I have so many mentors in my
Yeah.
life that I look up to. And I'm even looking at how, when you say, well, you're going to be somebody's mentor, that you're going to share what they do, that you get out and
Yeah.
you become an ambassador for what they're doing. And I believe that I'm an ambassador for every person that I can say is a mentor. I've shared their things. I've bought their books. I stood up and said, yes, this lady here is the bomb. Let me refer you and let you see on your own. And if I'm referring somebody to you, you better know they're gonna bring that smoke.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about coming in and
Yes.
making people just happy that they made that call or they made that decision.
Yep.
And I tell people all the time, I talk to a principal every year. I speak at least 2 or 3 graduations, and I'm looking at this situation. I talked to the principal of one of the schools. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a virtual commencement speech for your graduate.
Oh,
I'm gonna
that's nice.
and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it to them just as if I was right there. And I mean the same enthusiasm, the same passion, the same love, and I'm gonna give it to. One of the things that I say, and I take this to heart. My prayer is, and I tell, like, when kids or people, when they put their shoes under their bed, and I always say my prayer is that when you put your shoes on your floor under your bed at night, that you put them back so far that when you get up in the morning and as you're on your knees and you're reaching for your shoes, that the first thing that comes to your head is to say, thank you,
Lord,
for another day, because somebody didn't wake up, somebody couldn't get it, and somebody wished that they had the opportunity that you had.
Yeah, come on. That's so good.
People to get.
That's so good.
So when I think about you and what you do, so it's so you were on St. Louis Live, I think it was, and I do my research. I watch.
Come on, researcher.
And the cool thing for me deciding to interview you is it made me take a deeper look. And I already knew you were awesome. I knew you were phenomenal, but it made me take a deeper look into who you are. And it made me smile, Keish, because I see you on this platform talking to all these people that look like us, that don't look like us, and they are holding on to those words.
Praise God.
Encouragement. What is it like for you to be in a situation where color doesn't matter, but the words that come out of your mouth does?
See, me, when I'm up speaking, I'm telling you, it's like I'm gravitating. That's my element. When I'm up sharing, when I am up connecting with people, it's like I gravitate. And what I've learned to do is operate in my authentic space, my authentic self. Because years ago, I would mimic other people or try to be what somebody else wanted me to be or show up how they wanted me to be. I had to get that checkup from the neck up first. But when I'm in my authentic lane and I'm there, baby, it's like I'm gravitating, and it's almost like it sometimes is an out of body experience because I'm so connected to the spirit. Sometimes I can say things because the spirit has led me to know exactly what somebody needs right there at that point. And people will come up at the end and say, you were talking directly to me. How did you know that I'm building this business and I'm not doing anything with it, or that I don't want to talk to people? And all those pieces come up, which reminds me that I'm doing the right thing. Right. It's like I'm gravitating.
Yes. So anybody that's watching this show right now, I see some of the people on Amy, Karen, Rome, comedian Rome, Sharonda Barnes. If you guys want to come in, if you have any insight or you want to hear anything from Miss Keish, she's a motivational speaker, and she's always giving nuggets and giving people insight on things they need. Or if you just want to join the conversation, because right now, this world is going through something. We're going through something, and it's serious. And the thing I don't like about it is people are using race, people are using religion, people are using politics. They're using all these things as excuses, I feel, And we should be looking at each other for help and guidance.
That's right.
And support. So
support
if you
and
guys
come like
can
this.
come in, you guys, the link is right there. You guys can put that link in and you can come in to the conversation. We still got about 15 minutes to go. But I think what you're saying is so key. Teach. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. So let me ask you this. What is it like for you? What is it like for you? What's the feeling when you have to go and you have to talk about diversity to a group and you feel pushback? You know what I'm saying? You've been in those spaces where you've been in at first.
Yeah.
You know, you walk into that room and you know that people are looking at you like, oh, here we go, another workshop, another speaker.
Yep.
I love that because that pumps me up. Because
that motivation.
Those same people, by the time it's over, they're hugging you to high five.
They want to buy 2 books.
And want to buy. So what is it like for you? So how many books have you written so far?
I'm on my first book. So
you're on your first book. And what is it about?
Networking, it's your superpower.
Right. And so ask the question about what is it like when you have that, when you go into that room and you feel that negative energy, you feel that pushback or that wall people put up because they really don't want to hear you. And it's not you personally. They just tired of workshops.
That's right. So I was just the closing keynote speaker at a digital conference. And so when you think digital, instantly you think tech.
Yeah.
And some tech people ain't a lot of extroverts sometimes. And so when this little extrovert come in with all of this energy, so I walk in the room and there is probably 400 or so of them in this room. And I walk in the room and I always get to a place early so that I can check it out. I can see the space. I can feel the energy. I can make some connections. I can go sit in a place where people don't know I'm the speaker and connect with people that are right there at that table. And so I did just that. I sat down, I started talking. They had some little hors d'oeuvres they were having. We were talking about the food, and next thing you know, they get ready to introduce a speaker. And I pop up. The lady was like, she mouthed, "You didn't tell me you were the speaker." And I said, "I know."
I love it.
I get up there, and you could just completely, as I was walking up, you could hear crickets.
Yes.
So when I get up there and I'm talking about unconscious bias, and I put up my first slide, and I have this really unique thing that I do. I put up a picture of an individual covered in tattoos. What's your first instinct when you think of this individual? And I have different pictures like that. And then I flip and show them what those individuals look like when they're suited and booted. You can't tell those things, but naturally our mind does that. And each and every one of them in that place, they stood up. I always do an activity where they can get to moving around. And they thanked me because they hadn't moved around yet at that conference, and they had been there 2 days.
Wow.
And they had not even really connected with the people at their tables. And so when we talked about the bottom line, when you go to those places, is to build and connect, not just to go say you know, check a box that you went, but to really connect, because you never know who you can connect with in that place. And I connected with CEOs, individuals that are business startups, local organizations that pour in and invest. And I connected with so many people. And I know that it was because of the impact, but also that I was unafraid to go in there in that space, because it wasn't a lot of diversity. But you know what? Now they understand, in order for you to have a diverse team and to hire somebody, you need to hire some diverse people that are even on your team. Because if you keep hiring people that look like you and that's all you got, you missing a slice of that pie that you could get. It was so good though. And I'm still connected with a lot of those individuals. My girlfriend, Elise, works for an organization, and she knew the power that I bring to the table. And she said, "You know what? I don't know how, but I want you to do something." And I said, yes. I didn't ask any details because I knew when she got the details, she would let me know. Right. And she said, "I want you to close us out for the conference. We've been here a day and a half. Close us out." And I went and did just that. And it was a blessing to me. And I'm telling you, it changed my life and it changed my mindset. And those connections I walked away with, priceless. Priceless.
And I think people have to understand that. They have to understand, you get out what you put in. If you're
Every
not gonna
time.
if you're not gonna put anything in, you're not gonna get anything out.
Right.
And a lot of people they don't take that to heart. And I think that that's where we miss it in the grand scheme of things. When we really want to get something going and we really want to be a part of something, we have to understand what we need to do in order to grow, and that's network. We have to network, right?
Is that the L? Is that the
Your
L?
network determines your net worth.
That's right. That's right.
So when we talk about networking and things like that, it's so important that people get it. So let me ask you this: what's coming next for you? What are you looking forward to doing next?
I'm looking forward to finishing my book
Mm-hmm.
and really getting that thing out, because you know what? I keep getting other projects, and I'm such a person of so I'm looking forward to finally getting it done, finally getting it out, finally getting it complete. Now I have the book cover designed, and
Mm-hmm.
we went took me a little bit because I'm really specific on what I want it to look like, and
Mm-hmm.
got that down. And now I'm just like, okay, I'm looking forward to the completion of the book, and I'm looking forward to really being able to use that book as my business card and go all over the world with it.
Right. Yes. Yes. I think it's so important that when you talk about having a team and working with people, it's so important that you have people that can see the vision. Um, and it's so funny. I remember when I did my first book, I put it out myself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to relaunch my book, but I also
Oh yeah.
have another book titled Driven, and Be the Driver of Your Success. And
Okay.
it's comprised of stories about what it takes to be successful and different people thoughts and things like that.
Okay.
But what I think so many people always say, oh, I wish I could do a book, and they don't realize they have it in them. They just haven't sat down.
We all got a book in us.
Everybody does.
It's just about taking the time to really get it done. And I think that because life continues, it's not like we get a pause and we can say, okay, I'm gonna do the book today. Everything keeps going. Everything keeps going. I even said at the beginning of this shutdown that, okay, when we come out, I'm gonna have my book finished.
Exactly. But that's the thing though. If you don't during this time, if you can't use your creativity during this time, then you didn't have it. This is the time where you use I'm telling you, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
This is the time, whatever was on the inside of you, this is the time that it comes out. Right? This is the time that you do it. This is the time that you get it done.
Yeah, because we're needing to pivot right now. This pivot that we're doing right now, especially for small businesses, I watched how organizations and restaurants who weren't delivering, now they're delivering. I watched how people who didn't have an online presence now have an online presence. So I think really what has happened in this pandemic is we've learned so much. Even if you break down that word pandemic, that word says that we're all affected, but me and my family, we ain't affected by it.
I'm affected in a good way.
Right. I don't like the word pandemic.
Has pushed me to be
Come
better.
on.
It has pushed me to be better. So I think that's one of the things that people can take from this is that even in something that's bad, you have to find the good.
That's it right there.
You got to find the good in it, and there are good things in this, and it's pushing you to be more creative. It's pushing you to be better. It's pushing you to work harder. And if you don't get that, then you're not paying attention. And
that's good.
I tell people all the time, if your wood is wet, you better dry it off.
You better dry it off.
So
we don't want no wet wood.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So looking at everything that's going on with the pandemic, and what can you say to people when it comes to dealing with their kids and this online learning and just dealing with being stuck is the word people are using. Being stuck in the house.
Bored in the house, bored.
I got a thing that I have to do for that. I got a little rap I did. And with the help of my son, it's gonna be dope. But I mean, just being creative and innovative. What do you think people need to do at this time?
First off, people need to speak what they want. You cannot allow thoughts that are negative to come out. Now, I'm not saying we won't have a negative thought, but you need to check that thing right then and there. We cannot be speaking these things over our kids. You get on my nerves, you this, you're that.
Right.
We need to speak life over these kids and
Yeah.
start to get in a place where we're speaking life over everything that we do. Affirmations. Start writing down affirmations every single day. My affirmation is this every morning. I confess that the favor of God surrounds me today like a shield,
Yeah.
and that good things are happening to and through me,
Yes.
and doors are opening that no man can close. When
Yeah.
we set a mindset to speak what it is that we want,
Mhm.
use those affirmations. I keep affirmations close and make sure that you stay in that same trajectory of what you want.
Right.
Okay,
right.
we may fall off. And I always say this, falling down is okay. Not getting up is not okay.
That's it right there. That's it right there. It's okay to fall down. That's in one.
Yeah.
That's in one of my in my motivational album. One of the things I said we have to stop looking at who made us fall, who's responsible for the fall, and we have to just, we have to look at getting back up. We got to change our focus, and
That's where the power is.
yeah, the power is in you. And that's what
right.
people understand. It begins with you and it ends with you. There's
Absolutely.
some things in the middle, but at the end of the day, it starts with you and it ends with you. So whatever people saying, if they're not saying anything that's going to help you, you got to learn how to move around them.
You do.
And you have to learn how to use the good things in order to put you where you need to be. So I think that's super dope.
Yeah, and get you a team. So not everybody is good at math, but you know what? They're doing all sort of online tutoring and all sort of things that kids can get connected to.
Yeah.
I would say get them connected. Even if you have to do it from your phone, get them connected. They're already on all these devices and doing all this stuff anyway, but get them connected to a point where when it comes to their home learning, because we're not homeschooling them, they're just at home doing school.
That's it.
It's a difference.
That's the big
because I know some homeschooling parents that go hard when it comes to homeschooling, and their kids are little geniuses.
Right.
Halbert here in St. Louis goes to our church. He and his wife Shalon are homeschooling their kids even before all of this. And I'm telling you, those little kids, baby, they're rock stars.
Yeah.
And thinking about people that we can reach out to that already have that gift, that already have that talent, but use resources and ask. Be okay with asking for what it is that you need. When you need something, sometimes we don't ask, but ask, because you never know who's waiting to assist you, who's waiting to say, oh, here you go. I was waiting on somebody to ask me for that. You never know.
Yeah. Somebody said, turn off all the negativity. Too much COVID-19 news is depressing. Yes. And affirmations are powerful. Yes.
Absolutely.
And this is why this show is so important, is because I want to talk about stuff. We might mention what's going on with the pandemic, but my point is, how can we go above it? How can we go through it? How can we, deflect it in order to be our best? And we have to stop drowning our minds and our thoughts with all of this negativity, because what happens is when you let all that negativity in, it starts to affect you. Right? That's why they say dis-ease brings on disease. So that means when you're depressed and you're walking in that depression, you get high blood pressure, you get sick, you start get stressed out, anxiety, and we have to stop that. We have to cut it off at the root, and we have to think positive.
Yeah,
positive affirmations. So that's why we have to just keep moving on this scale.
That's it, and use and do that inward work, because that inward work will help you focus outwardly when you're doing that inward work, and look at those past traumas, those past things that keep us set up a certain way when it comes to thinking, and uproot that stuff and deal with it, because so many things we don't even think about. So many things keep giving us all these red flags, and we don't pay attention. But I think paying attention to that is really where the mindset has to shift, and we get to go inward and become what we were called to be.
Yes, indeed. There you have it, everybody.
Yes.
I've been on here, man. It's crazy. This hour it flew by. But that's how it is when you're doing something that you love doing, when you're doing something that's good and that's benefiting people. I think It's not a labor. It's not a labor at all. It's just a flow. It's a flow.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
man, just looking at what you're doing and listening to you, I'm really encouraged. Everybody, make sure you go on social media. It's at MrsKeshSpeaks. You can find her on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and the podcast. Tell everybody about the podcast before we get out of here.
Absolutely. The podcast networking, it's your superpower. You can find it on Anchor. You can find it also on Spotify. I will make sure that we drop the link in there so that you can see that as well. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. You all get on LinkedIn and build your presence. I went and I make sure every single day that I'm on LinkedIn. And you know what? 80% of my speaking engagements last year, 80%, Simeon, came from LinkedIn.
I got to get
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got to get on it. I don't have a team yet. I mean, I got a team for the show. But I'm saying, I got to, I'm on it. You're going to teach me. I promise you. You're going to teach me.
Let's do it.
You're going to get, and look, anything you help me get, I'm going to go get your finder's fee too. We going to network.
Yeah, it's a superpower. Stay connected and say yes to you. Other people may pick and choose what they want to celebrate you for. Yes. Celebrate yourself for everything, every win, small or big. Celebrate yourself and be your biggest cheerleader. My grandma used to always say that nobody gonna cheer for you like you gonna cheer for yourself. So keep going. So
I want to say this. Karen Simpson Watson said this is very inspiring. Thank you. Mackenzie Holmes says the glass is half full during this time. Time to stop and think and make a new plan.
Come on, Mackenzie.
We talk, man, Mackenzie. That's what we're talking about, brother. We're talking about taking this situation and using it to the betterment and to the good of how we can get better and how we can grow and get to the next level. Thank you so much. Veronica Bradley, thank you. Excel is in the house. Excel is the producer of my motivational album.
Okay.
And he is man,
I need me a motivational album, Excel.
Hey, dude, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys something. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys something because since I have Excel on here, I'm gonna show you guys something because I think that it's amazing the things that he's helped me do when it comes to getting this word out there like this. But
there's nothing like having a good team and people that know their stuff and are passionate about it. Let me tell you something. Come on.
So I'm gonna show you guys something. So Keish, I want you to see this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put it up. So for this one, guys, I'm gonna put it up, but I want you guys to get a little glimpse of what we're doing when it comes to the motivational piece, so you guys can see it. So here we go. This is a piece of it.
Excellence. Peace of mind. What I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath and relax and think about what having a peace of mind means to you. What do you see? When I think about peace, I see calm, I see laughter, I see fun. I see walking in your purpose and fulfilling your destiny. I see people getting along and uplifting one another. I see respect. I see love. I see unity. I see joy. I see peace. Peace. You see, peace is when you can just be who you are and do the things that you desire. Strife without pain and without stress. Being comfortable in your own skin and not letting what people say or do push you over the edge.
That's all I'm giving y'all for now. That's all I'm giving y'all for now.
Yeah, I love it.
That's all I'm giving. That's all I'm giving for now. That's all I'm giving. Because it's just one of those things where I get, when I say I get the chills, I don't even see myself doing it. I'm listening to the words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to the words. I'm listening to what's going on. And like I said, man, the thing I love,
the energy is amazing. The energy,
man. And the thing I love about what you're doing, Keisha, is the fact that it's all about people. It's all about showing people who they are and helping them to get to the next level, and just building and building and building and building. And as long as you're doing that, you're going to be blessed beyond your wildest dreams. And I just think
That's right.
looking at your spirit and looking at the love that you have for yourself, well, for God, for yourself,
First,
for your family, and for people, those
Yes.
things are going to catapult you to a level that you couldn't even imagine. So I just want to encourage you to keep
Thank
doing what you're
you.
doing, because it is awesome. It is so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This was amazing. Thank you so much for having me, Simeon Henderson.
Man, please. Thank you for taking the time and sitting down with me and just getting it in, and just
This was fire. This was fire.
It was dope. We're gonna do this again. So guys, be on the lookout. We're gonna collaborate to get some things going, and we're gonna get some things together, because it's just time. It's time for us to speak up. It's time for us to reach out, and it's time for us to dig deep so we can grow. And if we grow, we can show people that it's possible.
Let's do it.
Say bye to the people.
See you all. You know what, y'all? I'm gonna leave you with this. Can you see this?
Nope. Move it over. Move it over. You got to move it over the other way. There it is. Over a little more. That right there. Bam. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you.
1 Peter 5:7. Do it and stay focused, and make sure that you do what it is that you want to do, not what somebody else says, because until you operate in your own gifts, they won't make room. But when you operate in your gifts, they will make room for you every single time. Stay focused. Subscribe to the podcast. I would love for you all to come along with me. Thank you, Simeon.
Hey, thank you. You guys have been watching the Sip and Savor Hour, the Simeon Henderson Show. Big shout out to my executive producer, Jamani Anamdi, my producer, Jose Perez, everybody that makes this possible. I appreciate you. Tomorrow on the show, we have the one and the only Mr. John Vincent live. Check it out. This is John.
What you were, just as long as you're there and kind to her.